Hello music makers, welcome back to Make the Music, and today we're going to be going into mixing metal guitars, particularly like modern, down-tuned heavy metal guitars, to get them to fit in your mix, to sound like they're wide, they've got energy, but they're not overly fizzy or dark, and they fit just in the right place. Now you're going to want to like and subscribe to the channel. This tells me you like what I'm doing and you want to see more of it, and I do offer mixing and mastering services, and you can learn more about that in the description box down below. But anyways, let's get into the video here. So you just heard that preview of the guitars in this mix. Is a fairly modern metal mix here, a lot of tracks. And so I'm actually going to solo this guitar part real quick here. There's a more chuggy part over here in this part of the mix. So I got some processing going here. I actually have quite a bit of processing going on. I want to explain all of it here. So let me bypass the plugins. I'll pick a chuggy part that goes into a more overdriven part. So let me bypass all these plugins here so I can explain what's going on with the chain. So the key with especially guitars in this genre is you want to have them have top end energy, but also sit really well in the mid range. You don't want them to sound over fizzy or scooped, or they're really not going to be able to cut through with a lot of the instruments. And you want to keep the low end so they sound heavy, but not have them overpower the bass guitar and fit in a place where they don't need to be fitting. So first thing I did is come in with a stock EQ. I'm cutting off low end up to 83 hertz and then high end up to 14K. That's pretty standard. You don't need all that fizzy top end here. You hear how much like nasty top end fizz is going on. We don't really need that in the guitar sound. So I got rid of that and then just did a bit of a boost in like the lower mids to help fill out the mid range. So that's sort of the initial EQ stage. Then I'm adding in a multiband compressor. And why am I adding a multiband compressor? Well, when the palm mutes go in with these guitars, especially down-tuned guitars, can really cause that low end to bloom up and hit the rest of the track and cause that to be way louder than everything else. And so what this is doing is it's just on those palm mutes. So you can see this doing just a little bit of gain reduction on those palm mutes, and especially when they get really heavy there. It's nothing too drastic. You don't want to go over the top with this, or it's going to make the low end of your guitar sound kind of weird. But that's what that's doing there. It's helping tame some of that low-mid information. Then I have virtual mix rack, and I'm coming in doing some more carving. Add the virtual channel. Then I'm adding some top end, 2 dB at 7.5K, and then 2.89 at 3K, just to add some more top end and presence to these guitars in a natural way. Then I dipped out some lower mids. It looks like around 300. Just felt woofy to me. Didn't need to be there, but then I actually added some back at 250 because I didn't want these guitars to lose some of that thickness, right? If you scoop too much out of the lows, they're just going to sound way too thin and not really have that power going into the mix. Like if I took all that out here, just have you see that. They just sound way too thin. And so I want to add some of that back in. Then I'm using a couple different compressors. This first CLA 76 compressor is just sort of adding a little bit of gain reduction overall to the guitars. That's just doing a little bit of overall glue there. And then the second compressor is a more aggressive compressor. And what this one is doing, which I've sort of borrowed this trick from Taylor Larson when he was mixing, is that you add a really quick attack, really fast release compressor. What this is doing is when you're picking on the parts like the breakdowns and things like that, it makes the guitar really jump out and seem like it's being picked harder than it actually is. And while it's hard to tell sometimes maybe what the guitar is just soloed, let me take it off there. This doesn't feel as urgent. Like, let me unsolo the guitars. It's like that extra 5% that makes the guitar really just sort of out. And when the transients come out, really feels like it's matching the attack of the kick drum. So those are the 5 parts of my chain there with the guitars. EQ carving to bring out the mid-range, get rid of some of the fizz and super subby low ends. Multiband compression to help with the palm mutes, a little more virtual mix rack EQ to bring out some of the presence of the guitars, add some low end, and then some overall compression, and then attack compression to help with the chugs and attack of the guitar. So I will play the track here. You can hear me bypass the plugins. Play this section here. So overall, that processing really helped it fit in the mix, really helped it sort of jump out and really have the feel and attack that track called for. If you have any questions about this mixing, leave it in a comment down below. I'd like to hear how you mix these heavy guitars like this. What is your process? I'd really like to help improve my process as well. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video.